It's been 5 years since Libyan rebels captured former ruler Muammar Gaddafi in his hometown of Sirte after months-long unrest that turned into a full-fledged civil war. The embattled leader was killed by a gunshot to the head, according to the country's chief pathologist, ending his nearly 42 years of rule over the North African country. Gaddafi's fall was seen by some as a brief moment of optimism for positive change in Libya. The country, however, devolved into disarray in the years since, as it has been racked by political instability, militia violence and Islamist extremist groups. Libya has been torn apart between two rival governments. Let's discuss this further with Major General Samir Rageb, Chairman of the Arab Foundation for Strategic Studies, who joins us live now from Cairo. Thank you for joining us. Now, Gaddafi's fall was seen by some as a chance for positive change in Libya, but the country has spiraled into disarray in the years since. What went wrong?
Thanks for having me and welcome. After toppling Muammar Gaddafi, the extremists and jihadists exploit the vacuum of power and security vacuum to make a foothold in Syria and set up an Islamic province in Sirte Gulf because in this time the country in turmoil and mass demonstration and also a divided country between the East and the West. During this time, this area attracted more jihadists and extremists from all over the boundary, the neighborhood countries, Algeria, Tunisia, Niger, Mali, as well as Egypt, to make a Khalifa, an Islamic Khalifa, affiliated for Islamic State, what's called ISIS. In this time, the intervention of the world not convenience with the situation because the world are understanding the matter as a civil war and a domestic matter. In this time, the IS make a foothold place and try to extend its influence out of this area. During this time, we have two parliament and two government. Last year, the United Nations backed a new government, which is a unified government and a High Council of State headed by Mr. Sarraj. This increase the divided between the two states in one nation. Last Friday, we have another installment for the toppled government in Tripoli. Then we have a divided militia.
Now, just to cut you short in there, because like you mentioned, we now have two rival governments in the country. So moving forward, how can the country get back on track as one united nation?
Yes, we must reach for a consensus about a unified government, a unified army for fighting terrorism and re-establish the security in this nation. We must replace hater of the other with coexistence. We must have a democratic elected new parliament that inclusive for East and West. We must treat the matter as a domestic agenda without interference with regional or international players in this case. We must re-establish the constitutional apparatus in this country, support the unified army from all over the world is very important. Must lift the ban of armament systems and ammunition just for a unified army. The situation in Libya may be better than another area because Libya has no sectarian conflict. The conflict is a matter of seizing a fragmented rich oil country.
Right.
The tribal tradition controls the situation to not the matter in IS in Syria or in Iraq.
All right. Thanks very much for those insights. Joining us live from Cairo, that was Major General Samir Rageb.